Alright, so tonight was eviction night in the Big Brother house. I didn't have a lot to say about tonight's eviction, as Simon getting evicted in the house, I pretty much knew was going to happen. Wasn't really surprised by that, as he hasn't done much within the house and he's kind of played a quiet game throughout the whole thing. I did like Simon as a person, and I kind of like the people who he is kind of aligned with, even though he wouldn't say it's aligned to self. But, you know, he's kind of paired off with Mark and also Helen. And, you know, I was just kind of rooting for their side. So I was kind of sad to see him go, but at the same time, he really wasn't doing much anyway. So, you know, it really wasn't a loss to the house as well. They was kind of doing the lead up and showing everybody who was safe, and I thought it was funny that Nick nearly passed out when he saw that he was safe. Immediately following this, you kind of seen an interview with Helen and also Emma. Pretty much Helen and also Nikki, I guess it was their time to leave the house, as I don't think they really mentioned that they were going to be leaving the house. They said that the housemates were going to be staying, so I figured that they was going to stay the entire time. But I know they was really supposed to leave last week, but they ended up staying an extra week, so I guess their time is up and they're leaving the house. Definitely had a lot to say about Helen, and also I had seen bots last night, and I know so many people had so much to say about Helen, and it was just like this big discussion, so I'm going to kind of throw in my thoughts on that a little bit later. But as far as the interview with Helen and also Emma, I thought that was pretty funny. You know, she got on the topic of Nikki, and Helen was kind of talking about how she acts like a diva. And then Emma's kind of like, well, you know, to be fair, she's always been like that. And I'm just sitting up here cracking up over the whole interview. Helen kind of goes into the crowd and how they always, you know, really don't give her the benefit of the doubt, and how she always gets booed every time she comes out. And she was like, you know, I knew I was going to get booed, and then the crowd boos her like right after she does that. And then she's like, see, well, there they go again. And then so, you know, after this whole thing, you know, she kind of talked about her role in the house, and, you know, immediately following this, I had seen bots with her on there. And Rylan was kind of asking Helen, you know, did you want to apologize for the whole, you know, comments that you made to Brian? And you could tell Helen wasn't budging at all, like she wasn't going to apologize. And, you know, I just kind of felt like, you know, if it's not going to be sincere, don't apologize. Even if you're under pressure, you know, don't even apologize if you don't feel like it's sincere. But, you know, she went ahead and apologized to Brian for the comments, I guess. And all I can say is this. And I had seen this last night. You know, a lot of people have their opinions about Helen, but I can honestly say the house is not going to be the same without her, and I feel like she needs to stay in the house. You know, a lot of people are saying that she was even worse this time around, and I kind of feel like I don't think Helen was nearly as bad as this time than when she was previously in the house during the season that she won. If you think she was a lot meaner in this season, then you need to go back and watch the season with her in it, like throughout the whole season. And that was one of my favorite seasons. But, you know, this time I didn't think she was nearly as bad as the time she was on her first season. I felt like she was a lot nicer this time around. And I kind of felt like she had one purpose in going into the house, and that was pretty much shaking up the house, since nothing was going on anyway. But the house energy, it won't be the same without her, or Nikki as well. And I kind of feel like with Ashleen, like with her role in the house, I kind of felt like she was brought in the house to kind of feud with Helen a little bit. So I don't know what role she's going to play in the house now that Helen's gone. I don't know how long Ashleen is going to stay in the house as well. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how she gets along with other housemates. So far, she's getting along with other housemates good. I think it was just the whole Helen thing that kind of got her stirred up. But, you know, I don't know. The energy in the house, I just don't know how it's going to be without Helen or Nikki inside the house. I know they're doing the housemate hotel thing that they're planning next week. John coming in, I felt like that should be good. I think he's funny. I still haven't watched his season where he was actually on Big Brother, which I'm pretty sure was classic, but I see him all the time on bots. I love seeing his commentary on bots. So just to kind of see the interaction that he has with the housemates should be pretty good. But if you did watch tonight's episode, feel free to share your thoughts. How do you feel about Simon being evicted? Overall, what do you think about Helen as a housemate? And now that she's going to be gone, do you feel like it's going to really affect the house? Do you think the show's going to get better? Do you think it's going to get worse? Do you feel like she still needs to be inside the house? Share your thoughts. And until next time, this has been Jacob, Rob, AJ, and I'll see ya.